The F-test compares the variances for two sets of data to see if they're equal or not. The null hypothesis is always that the variances are equal, and your alternate hypothesis is always going to be that the variances are not equal. I have my samples here. I've got two different variances, two different sample sizes. The first thing I want to do is to calculate my F value. I'm going to put the highest variance as the numerator. That's 109.63. And my lowest variance, 65.99, as the denominator. When you're running an F-test, you should always put the largest variance in the numerator and always put the smallest in the denominator. So if I divide this through, my F statistic is 1.66. My next step is I need to calculate the degrees of freedom because I need that to use the F table. Degrees of freedom is just my sample size minus 1. So I'll take my two samples, subtract 1. It gives me 40 degrees of freedom and 20 degrees of freedom. Notice that I put the highest value first. The 40 degrees of freedom goes with 109.63. This is 40 degrees of freedom in my numerator. And the 20 degrees of freedom is the denominator. Next step, and again, I need this to use the F table. I want to choose an alpha level. It's not given to me in the information, so I'm going to go ahead and use the standard 0.05 or 5%. And because this is a two-tail test, I need to halve my alpha level. If you had a one-tail test, the alpha level would be all in one tail, but we have a two-tail test. So half my alpha level is going to be here, and half is going to be there. So half of 5% is 2.5% in each tail. I've got 2.5%. And as a decimal, that's 0.025. Next, I can use this information to look up a value in the F table. There are several F tables, so make sure that you're looking at the one for an alpha level of 0.025. I had 40 degrees of freedom in the numerator, and I want 20 degrees of freedom in the denominator. That's this row. So the final step is to compare the calculated value from step 1 up here, 1.66, to the value I found in the table. If the calculated value is higher than the table value, we can reject the null hypothesis. It is not higher, so the null hypothesis stands.